Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Garrett Horner. This is stage 6 of Dauphiné 2024. Today's race, exciting course. It's the first day into the real mountains proper here at Dauphiné. And we have 3 consecutive stages coming in a row. 6, 7, and 8 are all going to be exciting. After yesterday's crash in stage 5, we know once the race and the cameras come on that UAE Team Emirates Ayuso will not be in the race. They said he signed on, he tried to warm up, he said his hips were sore. So Ayuso's out of the race. Remember, UAE Team Emirates had him on the list for the Tour de France. He hasn't been taken off the list as far as I know right now, but you got to wonder what the question mark will be after yesterday's spectacular 40+ miles an hour, 70 kilometers an hour crash coming down the wet descent. Now, a lot of guys had crashes in yesterday's stage, so you don't always know exactly how riders could be affected coming into this stage 6 and certainly still be affected in tomorrow's stage 7 and 8. That's Primož Roglič and Remco Evenepoel, mainly our big-time favorites, because Remco Evenepoel in the race leader's jersey, Primož Roglič just behind him in second, Jorgensen, the American rider for Visma Lease Bikes third, and Derek G, Israel Premier Tech, who had a fine individual time trial. He's sitting 4th on the general classification at about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Those 4 riders you want to pay attention to, but of course Ineos are still here with Carlos Rodriguez. De Plus is on general classification in the top 15. But there's other riders too, right? Bora Hansgrohe don't just have Primož Roglič you have to worry about. Vlasov's on GC. Jai Hindley's a little bit further out, but Vlasov, he's not doing that bad. He's still sitting 11th, 12th on general classification. So he's a threat on GC too. But when the cameras come on, we got 60 kilometers to go. Breakaway of 6 riders up there. The biggest threat on general classification, just under 3 minutes, is Roman Gregor up there from FDJ. But when the cameras come back to the peloton, you see Pseudo Quickstep pulling on the front. The gap's at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm sitting on the Chesterfield. I'm like, whoa, these 6 guys, they got a shot at winning the stage here today. Because without knowing exactly how every team feels back there, Primož Roglič, Bora Hansgrohe, Remco Evenepoel, Pseudo Quickstep, and yada, yada, yada. Every big team crashed in yesterday's stage 5, so you don't know the story at this moment when the cameras are coming on. But 5 minutes, 45 seconds with one Magnus Cort Nelson up there and Gregor, who's a pretty good climber. I'm thinking they got a shot here at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And then we go back to the peloton and we start seeing all of a sudden there's different plans here. It's Mads Pedersen on the front, the sprinter from Lidl Trek, but he can climb too. But at 5 minutes and 45 seconds, can he do some damage up here? Well, he is. He's got the peloton strung out back there. He's going to pull 1.5 minutes coming up this climb here, this difficult climb that's just about 6.5%. He's going full gas up this climb. Peloton strung out. People are hurting at the back. People are hurting in the middle. People are hurting everywhere unless you're a pure GC guy, because Mads Pedersen's got the knife put to everybody. We see the 6 breakaway riders go over the category climb. Once they go over the KOM, their gap's down to about 4 minutes now. Now they're dropping down the descent as fast as they can, because I'm sure they heard on the radio that Mads Pedersen's setting a blistering pace back there. And so they're going full gas. And as soon as they go into the right turn, you see the Lotto Destiny rider there, Lievens. He's going off the road with his front tire. Look at the spray from the dirt coming off his front tire. That's because he's digging the tire hard, trying to turn it right to get it back onto the road. So they're going so fast, it's digging into the gravel there and spraying up a rooster tail onto his cranks there and onto his rear wheel. As he saves it, gets back out on the road. You see him do a little balancing act there to try to keep it off the left side of the road. He gets it back straight. Then we look at the motorcycle. They're doing 91 kilometers an hour coming down this descent. And as soon as the camera comes off the motorcycle, well, now they're going to pay the price for trying to hold off Mads Pedersen, because we see 2 riders going off the road on the left side there. That's Mason from Israel Premier Tech. And then the rider in front of him is the Arkea Samsic rider. They both dig their front tires in, flip over the bike. They're going off. Luckily for them, they're both in the bushes. We see the Arkea Samsic rider. He gets up fast. Thibaut's taking this stage serious. He knows they got a shot at winning the stage. He jumps on his bike and takes off, and Thibaut's going full gas down the descent, trying to catch up to the 4 breakaway guys in front of him. Behind, Mason's calling it a day. He's going to sit up and he's going to get caught by the Mads Pedersen-legged peloton down below. Now, as we start going further down the hill, the 4 riders come back together to make 5 as we see Thibaut from Arkea Samsic latch back on. Now they're going to miss the turn, the left turn coming up. You see the motorcycle in front? Well, he's in front of the official car there, the red one. Now take a look over to the right side of the picture. That's the policeman there that should have been giving everyone directions, but he didn't bother giving directions, so the motorcycle in front went straight. The official car, the red one, went straight. The riders went straight. If you look at the fans, they're all going, "You're supposed supposed to go left. You look at the arrow on the corner there, it's saying you're supposed to go left too. But the policeman, well, he's sitting there resting with his arms on his chest like this, just hanging out, not giving out any direction. So it's the fans trying to get everyone directions. And we see Magnus Cort Nelson almost crashes into the car park there because the rider in front of him realizes it hitting the brakes fast on Magnus Cort Nelson, and he's like, what's going on? Then they all realize that they went the wrong way. They got to flip it, do a U-turn, get back onto the course. But guess what? The Arcade Samsic rider, he flipped it a little bit sooner, so he's up the road. Now the 4 chasers are going full gas. They don't have a motorcycle in front of them, so they have to jump the island on this roundabout to make the right turn. One rider jumps the island, the other ones go around it. They come back together. They got 5 guys in front. Now the peloton coming down the descent. Why were those breakaway guys going so fast? 91 plus kilometers an hour down descent. But Mads Pedersen's leading in the peloton. Guys, he's blowing it up. It's blowing into pieces back there, single file. Everything's blowing up. We see Mads Pedersen and we see Pseudo Quickstep come up to Mads like, hey, slow this down, man. We don't need to be going this fast. Mads is like, I'm trying to win this stage here, bring this stuff all back and have my teammate from Lidl Trek, Ciccone or Theo Gegenhardt, win the stage here at Dauphiné, stage 6. That's why Mads going full gas. Now look, as he gets back on the pedal and it splits, we see Visma Lease bikes chasing full gas back there. Excuse me, I thought it was Visma Lease bike. It's not Visma Lease bike, it's Remco Evenepoel. He's pulling full gas wearing the race leader's yellow jersey, trying to close the gap up there to the Lidl Trek train at the front here of the peloton. And we look behind Remco Evenepoel. Well, that there is Jorgensen there, the American rider from Visma Lease bike. He's wearing the white jersey for the youth jersey. But Remco's in a little bit dangerous situation. He's got one teammate in front, must have some teammates in back, but Remco has to close the gap. The peloton, even after Remco comes back up to the front, is still going mad speeds up there because Mads Pedersen's going crazy. As we come into the town, it's still not slowing down. It's chaos because Mads Pedersen's doing everything on the pedals at full gas, full speed throughout the whole descent, through the town and coming out the town. The peloton split in half again. Then it starts coming back together. When it does, we're going to see their next sprinter get on the front. That's Ryan Gibbons. He's on the front with Mads Pedersen on the front and with Pseudo Quickstep riding the front. I don't know if I like the idea of Pseudo Quickstep riding on the front, but I told you guys after the individual time trial that Remco Evenepoel is a pure time trial specialist. He says he's come in here without the best form, and even after the time trial, the individual time trial that he won, he said he doesn't know how he climbs, but either way, it's been a good Dauphiné, whether if he keeps the jersey or not. Now, they all crashed yesterday, and I'm thinking, I don't understand exactly why Pseudo Quickstep would be riding the front with Lidl Trek at full gas right now. They don't really have a threat up in the front group. You're like, Chris, they got Roman Gregor. They got Roman Gregor up there. He's back down on 3 minutes on GC, like I already told you. But if he gets the race leader's yellow jersey, so what? So what, Pseudo Quickstep? So what, Remco Evenepoel? You let him get the race leader jersey. Let the gap extend back up. Make Mads Pedersen, make Ryan Gibbons up there have to pull full gas through the valley. Don't rotate through with them with 1-2 riders on the front with them throughout this whole flat section of the stage, and you rotated going up the climb and down the climb some. Maybe not down, but certainly up and certainly on the flat section there it rotated. Now we're coming into the last and final climb here. It's going to start with just over 11 kilometers. 8.5% summit finish here. This is the start of the real stage racing here at Dauphiné. And we see Mads Pedersen and Ryan Gibbons pulls off the front. They look at each other and you know they're smiling. They're like, we just smashed everyone. Ciccone's got a chance of winning the stage and Theo Gegenhardt's got a chance of winning the stage. We did a great job. I'm sure they'd be high-fiving themselves, but the race is still going full gas, so they can't. But they're having a good time back there, I can guarantee it. Now we go up to the front. The breakaway that's become 5 guys is Mason crashed on that descent, never got back on. Now we've got 5 guys starting the last final climb here. We're going to see Roman Gregor throwing attack. We got right there Magnus Cort Nelson following directly. About a kilometer and a half after that, Roman Gregor is going to drop Magnus Cort Nelson, and Cort Nelson's going to try to chase him the whole time. Let's go back and take a look at the peloton, because when the front breakaway guys started this climb, they had 1 minute 50 seconds. They're not going to make it. This climb's over 8.5%. So let's focus on the peloton, and we'll go back up there to Roman Gregor soon enough. As we go back to the peloton, once Mads Pedersen, Gibbonson dropped off the back of the peloton, we see Ineos and all of the teams are going curb to curb. UAE team members up there. Bora Hansgrohe's up there, Pseudo Quickstep's up there, Visma Lease Bike's up there, all going curb to curb full gas. It did not slow down when Mads Pedersen got off the front, because everyone knows the last final climb here starting on stage 6 at Dauphiné. So we see the bum rush to the front for good position starting the climb. As they come into the last town before the climb starts proper, things are getting single filed out. Ineos are on the front, 5-6 guys on the front all over the place. They're doing a fantastic job for Carlos Rodriguez and Laurens de Plus right now, who's both guys are about 10th and 13th on GC. We look further back, you got to go to about 30th position. That's Remco Evenepoel wearing the race leader's jersey, and the climb's getting ready to start. He's in the bad position. It's not real bad, but it ain't real perfect either. As they start the climb with just over 11 kilometers to go, Ineos is on the front, still going full gas. And we look, Remco Evenepoel did not start at the front. You see him just back there on the right side of your picture, just a little hair picture in race leader's yellow jersey there. That's Remco Evenepoel, about 30th position. He's in a little bit of a problem. As Ineos are riding the front, Remco Evenepoel is going to find his way to the front with Mikel Landa soon enough to get himself in a better position. But how much energy did the Belgian rider waste coming up to the front of the peloton right here? Now we start looking at the back. What's happening? Kees Benoot's getting dropped. That's Visma Lease Bike. That's one of the Superdomo mistakes for Jorgensen here as he's coming out the back. Then we're going to start seeing the next guy's tail. Gegenhardt, Lidl Trek, he's coming out the back. I guess Mads Pedersen is racing for Ciccone earlier with those magnificent pulls, because right now Theo Gegenhardt is almost at a dead stop on the left side of the road. Then we start seeing the next Visma Lease Bike rider coming out the back. It's the American Flying Eagle. Sepp Kuss is dropping. This is a big-time red flags flashing right now for Jorgensen up front, because when we start looking up there at 7.5 kilometers ago, Ineos got 4 or 5 guys there on the front as Jonathan Castroviejo's doing a fine job. We look further back. Bora Hansgrohe have numbers up there. Jai Hindley's there. Bob Jungels there. Vlasov's there. Primož Roglič is there. We look at Visma Lease Bike. It's just Jorgensen up there. We look behind him. Ciccone's there right near Jorgensen, and he's all isolated on his own. But Ineos are right in the front, so he doesn't have to worry about too much. Pseudo Quickstep, they got 2 guys. Landa's still in there. And we see, of course, Remco Evenepoel's race leader's yellow jersey. If I take you way back to the beginning of the film, who I forgot to mention right when the cameras came on, Ilan van Wilder was having a bad stage 6. He got popped at the beginning of the race when the cameras came on proper. Not the beginning of the race for him, but the beginning for us Chesterfieldians sitting on the couch. So we see up front only one helper in the form of Mikel Landa. That's there for Pseudo Quickstep with Remco Evenepoel. That means he's a little bit getting kind of isolated if the tactics go bad for him. Now, with Ineos pulling on the front with Jonathan Castroviejo, they start catching original guys from the break. Then he pulls off, and we're at about 6.57 kilometers to go. We see it's Michael Kwiatkowski on the front. Kwiatkowski, he's throwing everything into. Got the field down to about 25 riders. People are hurting all over the place as we see Bruno Armai, top 10, 6 on the general classification from Decathlon AG2R. He's coming out the back. Michael Kwiatkowski's throwing everything into it. We're coming into 5 kilometers to go. Magnus Cort Nelson's getting wrapped up. He couldn't bring back the time there on Roman Bardet, who's still going up the road. And Roman Bardet's getting a nosebleed. It's starting to drip pretty good right now, just under 5 kilometers to go. Then we see the first attack, as the first attack's coming from Laurens de Plus from Team Ineos. He attacks. We see the Pseudo Quickstep rider Mikel Landa following him. I'm like, Mikel Landa, you're going to follow this attack? Why are you following this attack? You got the race leader's yellow jersey. You're breaking the #1 rule on the butterfly effect. And as soon as I can think that, we see Mikel Landa pull hard to the left. I don't know if he didn't have the legs to follow De Plus. I don't know if he wised up and said, where's my race leader's yellow jersey? But either way, he's pulling hard left. We see De Plus going full gas. Then we see Vlasov come jumping out of the group there from Bora Hansgrohe. Remember, his teammates Primož Roglič sitting second on the general classification. Primož Roglič, one of the best riders in the world. Remco Evenepoel is too. But which one's on form after some crashes here at Dauphiné? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But right now, Vlasov is bridging across up there to De Plus. De Plus throwing in everything. We're coming in about 4.1 kilometers to go as they still got a gap. They're going to wrap up Romain Gregoire right now with about 4.1 kilometers to go. Now, as he gets wrapped up, he's going out the back just about as fast with about 100, 200 meters later. As we see him going out the back, that leaves 2 riders in the front. What's happening in the peloton? Landa, who wised up or didn't have the legs, he's on the front of the peloton right now. and we start seeing that Remco Evenepoel in the race leader's jersey is relying on his last teammate here from Pseudo Quickstep. Landa, the Spaniard's right in the front. He's doing a solid job. As we come into 3.5 kilometers to go, let's call it 3.8, we see David Gaudu's coming out the back. As he's coming out the back, he had some company back there with Paulus being dropped and Santiago Buitragos back there. Then we see David Gaudu. He comes up and he's got Roman Gregor there who's dropping to the back of the group. They're going to share a bottle. I was kind of like, ooh, that's a bit of a bloody nose to be handing over a bottle. Sharing it. David Gaudu tries to get back on the pedal, but he can't get back up to the front group. Now look as they're coming around the right turn there. Ciccone has moved himself into third position. There's still two riders up the road. That's Vlasov up the road and De Plus from Ineos are up the road with about a 19, 17 second gap. Ciccone sitting third. They go through that right turn as they come into the next left kind of hairpin, because remember, this is like 10%, 11% climb at this moment. We see Ciccone throw an attack coming out of the hairpin. Ciccone's acceleration. He's got Primož Roglič locked on his wheel. They got a gap on the two guys behind. That's Jorgensen back there and Carlos Rodriguez. Those two riders are chasing the two in front. And then they got a third that's back there. We'll call him the seventh rider at this moment. That's Derek G. Derek G's trying to bridge across. We'll see Jorgensen and Carlos Rodriguez bridge up to the two riders in front. We got four riders up front, two riders in front of them, and we got the peloton behind with Derek G just in between. It's going to take Derek G about 500 meters to catch up and bridge up to make five guys in the front group. Only problem is when Derek G gets up here, as he's up with about 2.8 kilometers to go, instead of getting on the back with Primož Roglič pulling. Now this is difficult tactics here. It's not tactics 101, but with Derek G, when he accelerates past the four breakaway companions and Primož Roglič is on the front, yes, Primož Roglič has his teammate in front, but his teammate there, Vlasov, he's sitting 11th on general classification. He's about a minute and 30, minute 40 seconds down on race leader Remco Evenepoel. So Primož Roglič has to get up to this group. Vlasov can either drop back or Vlasov can stay up there, but Derek G makes the mistake of not letting the stew simmer. He goes straight past. He's a knucklehead. I'm calling him a knucklehead right now. Now there could be some other strange tactics. Maybe Primož Roglič backed off the pedal. Maybe Jorgensen couldn't come through and pull. Maybe Ciccone wouldn't have come through and pull. But Derek G, nobody really knows who you are at this moment. This is the first real mountain summit of your life that you've ever climbed in the front group, especially a talent like this. You got to let it stew. Instead, Derek G goes straight around the four breakaway riders there, starts excelling. He's excelling on the pedals there, and he's got Primož Roglič sitting on his wheel. I'm sitting on a Chesterfield. Oh, no, don't be a knucklehead. You got the legs of a pro, but the brain of a knucklehead right now. Derek G, don't do it. Instead, he's still pulling on the front. We go back and look at the chase back there from Pseudo Quickstep. Landa's on the front. Remco Evenepoel's having a bad moment. They got about 10 guys in this group. Remco Evenepoel's last in the group. Landa's on the front pulling everything he can as the Spaniard's legs are trying to hold things together for Remco Evenepoel. Remember, he doesn't have to catch these guys, but he's got to stay close because the gap is just over a minute there to Primož Roglič on the general classification when the stage started proper, and he's got about a minute on Jorgensen and Derek G. But Derek G's pulling with everything he can on the front right now, trying to bring back the two leaders in front with Primož Roglič sitting on his wheel. Now we're coming just under 2 kilometers to go. The camera goes back and looks at the chase group there from Remco Evenepoel. He's moved him up to second place. Now he's sitting on his teammate's wheel, Landa, so second place with Landa pulling all out still. As the camera goes to the front, there's a blind spot there coming into the left turn. As they come out of left, Primož Roglič must have accelerated. He closed the gap up to the two leaders in front. With that, now all of a sudden, we got 7 riders in front. Vlasov's looking over his shoulder. He knows Primož Roglič there, so now he's starting to go to the front and sell out. As he's selling out, well, what's happening in the back? It's getting stretched again. Those guys all came together, and within 100, 200 meters, it's getting stretched. Derek G starting to blow. We'll see that Carlos Rodriguez has to come around Derek G. Jorgensen starting to blow. De Plus is at the back starting to blow. Up front, we got a gap with 3 riders. We got Vlasov. He's going 100%. Primož Roglič, his teammates on his wheel, trying to take the race leader's yellow jersey here at Dauphiné. Stage 6. Third on his wheel, Ciccone. Ciccone has done it. Mads Pedersen did fabulous work. Rode 40 kilometers on the front, brought back 3 minutes on this break. Now Ciccone's got a shot at winning the stage. We come into 1 kilometer to go. We still see it's Vlasov on the front. The next group behind him, 4 riders back there chasing full gas with Depluce on the front. Guys, it was 2 guys up front. It was Vlasov and Depluce rotating through as everyone came together. Now it's Vlasov pulling the group and Depluce trying to chase him with his teammate Carlos Rodriguez sitting on, and Derek G still there. Jorgensen still there from Visma Lease Bike as we go under 1 kilometer to go. 700 meters. What's happening? Remco Evenepoel knows it's time to go to work. The gap's up to about 31, 33 seconds as the Belgium kid throws everything into it for a last ditch try to save the race leader's yellow jersey. But up front, we're coming into 400 meters to go. Vlasov selling out. Coming into 300 meters to go, it's time for Primož Roglič to throw in his attack. Throws an attack around the left side there of Vlasov. Ciccone goes with him. As I'm sitting on the Chesterfield, I'm like, oh, Primož Roglič, you better be really good because Ciccone, this stage is set up for him all the time through the work from Mads Pedersen. Now Ciccone knows his teammate's done everything. So Ciccone's locked onto the wheel of Primož Roglič. 200 meters to go. Primož Roglič looks back. He sees that Ciccone's there, accelerates and sprints one more time. Ciccone, bam, pop. He's off the back. The Slovenian Primož Roglič going solo. He's got a right turn coming up at 75 meters to go. Hits the right turn, gets out of the pedal, starts accelerating. He's in the drop of the bars like he's coming into a field sprint. Got a big acceleration, looks back over his shoulder. Knows he's got a gap on Ciccone. Sits up. Hands to the lips, arms out wide, celebrates a victory here on Stage 6 at Dauphiné Summit finish, and will take the race leader's yellow jersey if Remco Evenepoel can't bring back some time. As we see second place, Ciccone's coming through. Third, Vlasov, he held on for third, and Derek G comes in for fourth on the stage. It was magnificent. Now race leader's jersey back there. Well, Remco Evenepoel's throwing everything into it, but ends up losing 42 seconds, finishing 8th on the stage. Just in front of him was the duo from Ineos. That was Depluce and Carlos Rodriguez. In front of them was Jorgensen. So it was a fine finishing stage here. Guys, you're going to need to watch 60 kilometers of today's race. It was exciting the whole time. But when it's all said and done, Primož Roglič, the second Slovenian greatest riders in the world, Primož Roglič wearing the race leader's yellow jersey here at the end of Stage 6. And he's got a little bit of a lead on Remco Evenepoel. Go a little bit further back, and we see Jorgensen started the stage in third. He's still in third. And Derek G, who started the stage in fourth, has moved up on time, but not in position, because the Canadian rider, oh, you did not race it so intelligently here at the finish, trying to attack Primož Roglič. I know how it feels when you're young. When you're young, you get it there. The first time you're in a group like this, you're like, I got amazing legs. I can do whatever I can. But Derek G, this stage, honestly, I think Derek G could have won this stage or at least been second on Primož Roglic's wheel at the end of the day, which would have moved him up on the general classification, gave him more time on all the other favorites. But I think he had a shot at winning today's race. The Canadian rider looks something special. I mean, pro-level legs like you have never seen out of this kid. This was definitely his coming out party here. You thought it was last year at the Giro, but Derek G, you had a fantastic ride. Ride it a little bit more intelligently in the future. But the problem is you've already raced it. Now they know who you are. They know you can be up here. So on a stage like today, I think you lost the win on today's race with your tactics. Either way, exciting stage finish. Congratulations, Derek G. It was still a nice ride. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. 2 more mountain stages left here at the Dauphiné. So I'll see you guys for stages 7 and 8 coming up real soon. Like and subscribe. I'll see you then.